year that we had. That was when we had the global economy problems. We had a police department where our contract needed to be renegotiated. It was at a much higher rate. We negotiated it lower. We had such terrible economic times that imparting anything more than 1 cent increase was something that none of us as a governing body wanted to do at the time. And as far as I can recall, everybody agreed. We all voted on it. Having said that, but we also agreed on figuring out a way as a governing body to pay back that sewer money. My biggest problem has not been the fact that we have not paid it back. It is that we have not addressed figuring out how to pay it back. I'm not at all sure that the sewer subcommittee is the place to actually ask them to create an avenue by which it gets paid back. The sewer subcommittee, and Mike can attest to this, really is the place where we talk about the flush and flow of the town and making sure that the subcommittee understands to make sure that the actual sewer operates appropriately. It really doesn't talk about the financial aspect of how the money flows in. The only time that we actually took that into place was in 2008 when we discovered that residents that were receiving sewer were in fact ignoring the fact that they had bills to pay, and that our CFO and the person in charge of the sewer at that time was not collecting the amounts of money that were due, including the school had chosen to stop paying their sewer bill in 2004. For some unknown reason, we went along and started to do our research and found that this town had not gone and taken the residents who had not paid their bill somewhere between 5 and 6 years and found that they had just ignored their sewer bills. And neither our CFO, nor our auditor, nor anyone in this town recognized that these bills were unpaid from 2004, and some instances residents hadn't paid from the day that they moved into their homes. Okay. So, having said all that, I would gladly work with the Chief Financial Officer and anyone else. I don't believe the sewer subcommittee is the place to do it. Plus, knowing that we were not going to be meeting over the summer, the sewer subcommittee has no meeting scheduled for all of the rest of the summer. So if we can do something like that, I'd be more than happy to do.
So then it doesn't necessarily have to be the sewer subcommittee. I guess I was asking you as a representative of the sewer subcommittee. Couple things. One, just want to address, I mean, I know in 2008 there were bad economic times, but I don't think it was...
And 9, yes.
And 9, but I don't think those years were any worse than where we're at right now from an economic perspective. So I think this year is much worse. But again, you know, I was looking at this year as somewhat of a transition year because I think we did do a pretty good job on the budget. But because it did become an issue, I think it is important to kind of get a proposal out there, identify what the repayment plan is. And one other thing I'd like to say, you were saying the sewer subcommittee, and I'm not saying they should be the ones to come up with a proposal, but you were saying they don't get involved with the financials. I believe it was the sewer subcommittee that came in and made the proposal on the outsourcing of the sewer billing and the collection.
Actually,
so they were involved in the financial piece of it.
No, it was Jim and I who were at that time the financial subcommittee. It wasn't the sewer subcommittee. Jim and I happened to be also the sewer subcommittee members. That's where that came from.
Okay. Well, I'm just...
So
yes, I don't want to argue with you. I just want to...
And it's not an argument.
Yeah.
Here, I'm saying to you, I agree with you. Yes, you did a good job, and I basically told you that in the meetings that we met with the auditor. There's no doubt about that. And I just said, and we just did not address how we were going to put a structure together to repay it. And that's what I continued to say. Yes, the budget did not... We did not as a group, while we were talking about framing the budget for this year, we just did not address what we promised we would fund back. Okay. That's all.
So, and that's why I think it's important that we address it right now.
I agree. Okay? Absolutely, I agree.
So, so I think that...
I absolutely agree.
So if you would work to come up with a proposal within
Grace?
with Grace,
sure,
and within those parameters that I've asked for, I would appreciate it.
Are we having a July meeting?
July 21st.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, we're not?
Oh, I don't know. Are we? Because we didn't have a July meeting last year. I didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah, we have it on the calendar.
Okay.
Okay, Joe?
Okay. Joe Mexi, Joe, would you say a few words about the status of the land lease?
Yes, I forwarded to Kim, or in your packets, a list of proposals the fire department would like to see in a land lease for the firehouse lot. I emailed it to you, Kim, right, earlier in the week?
Yes,
or
I
in the last
forwarded
one?
it to Peter.
Okay.
So
There is now, okay. All right, our list is in to the attorney then for our proposals. And just to keep that moving along, since company did come April 2010 and requested a lease for this property. So we went to the planning board in May or June, and they really didn't have a comment on the issue. They thought it would be up to the Township Council and their attorney to come up with the parameters and stuff.
But they reviewed a rough conceptual plan of where you wanted to have your...
Yes, the engineer's office had a map, and there's a map, and I think it was given to the township at that time and stuff, approximately, I think, 3.06 acres or something of that sort up on the so-called Hamlin property.
And
For lack of a better identification.
the planning board looked at it and didn't have any issues with.
Yeah, I mean, I think the purpose of sending it to the planning board
Correct.
is for them to look at the layout and the, the rough site plan and see how it fit in with the rest of the potential use of the property. So.
Which we didn't change nothing to initial plans from 2000 when that come off the foundation. We weren't asking for nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, actually, Joe, I'm sorry not to interrupt you, but this item is actually item 6 in my report, which has been there for a long time, but yeah, it goes back to June where the conversation started, and then it goes to August where Joe appeared before the committee, October where it was reviewed by the planning board and basically blessed. And that's where it kind of ended.
So,
Well, I think we were waiting for sort of a wish list from the fire company, which we now have, so we can now go to work on
There's just a little
these.
general time frame in
so
this outline.
that means the proverbial monkey's on your back,
Yeah,
right?
well, that's fine. I've done a number of those kinds of leases, so it's nothing new. But my draft will be a little bit longer than your draft, Joe.
That's fine. Our lease for the area that we have municipal buildings is only 5 pages now. So we have
What
plenty
year
of
was
room.
that in, Joe?
What's that, 1977? The only other issue I had on my agenda there was about, I guess it was 3 meetings ago, about creating an ordinance in the township ordinance book, the fire chief position, and that come out of the meetings when we were discussing the driver's license review and things of that.
I'm working on that, a similar ordinance for another municipality, so hopefully by the next meeting I'll have something for you to look at.
Okay.
But I think we probably should talk again about what exactly
Sure.
you want in that ordinance.
Yep. Okay.
If you'll give me a call.
Sure.
Well, you can email,
Certain provisions
Okay,
you
I know how to do
Yeah.
that. No problem.
Okay.
Just a brief real quick. I know during budget time we talked about the fire grant and stuff, and just to bring the committee up to date. As of today, the grant application for 2011 for the FEMA Fire Act grant has not opened, and the way it looks, they're just starting to line up the classes to give grant writers the what they're looking for in the grant application, and the way it looks, it may not open till the end of July.